This is Kelso Sturgeon. This report is for Sunday, December the 18th, coming directly to you from my College of Advanced Sports Handicapping. It's all about the NFL, and it's certainly Showdown Sunday for many teams that are playing today. Before we get into a rundown on just where everybody stands in the playoffs, let's do a little business first. It's a big day for me. I'm releasing two 100-unit plays, a 50-unit play, and intend to get all the cash in one shot here. First of all, releasing my 100-unit NFL triple power play, going for my 7th consecutive win in this game. I got all the cash last week with the San Diego Chargers, -7 in that 37-10 win over the Buffalo Bills. It was never close. People say, well, why did you pick San Diego in this game? For one basic reason, San Diego has a good passing quarterback. The Buffalo Bills have absolutely no pass rush. You saw what happened. We've got just a similar game today. The circumstances are a little bit different, but the matchups itself should produce another 100-unit winner. So I'm releasing another 100-unit NFL triple power play today. Also releasing my 100-unit NFL revenge game of the year. You know, football players are a different breed. And quite frankly, most of them are gentlemen and nice people. Of course, on the football field, they're doing their job, knocking the stuffing out of one another. But the truth of the matter is, when the game is over, they forget everything. They shake hands and move on to next week. But there are exceptions. Things happen in some games that are not forgettable, and in the mind of most football players, not forgivable. And we have one of those games today, and I've thrown almost all other circumstances out the window. This is a giant revenge game for one of these teams, and you can bet that they will get it done. I feel so strongly about this game. As I noted, I'm releasing it as my 100-unit NFL revenge game of the year. Also, I'm releasing a 50-unit NFL game of the week, as I do every single week, and tend to get the cash there. So let's run down these three big plays first. First, another winning 100-unit NFL triple power play, my 100-unit NFL revenge game of the year, and another 50-unit NFL game of the week. Now, you can purchase these games individually, or you can get them in a package at a much reduced price. I tend to break the bank today with these 250 units of action, and I ask you to join me. My Best Bets Club, going for a 3-0 Sunday with the Sunday night game. The Ravens at the Chargers, highlighting the plays. That's a 10-unit play. You can get that 10-unit play plus two other 5-unit plays for just $15 charged to your major credit card. Now, just remember that these games are all available, as are all my football and basketball games, on this website, and toll-free at 1-800-755-2255. All major credit cards are accepted. Now let's get to the playoffs. You know, there's many misconceptions about where these teams stand, so I'm going to try to run this down in somewhat an official fashion here. The Green Bay Packers, they're 13-0. They've clinched the NFC North, and a win today or a loss by the 49ers gives them a home field advantage throughout the playoffs. The San Francisco 49ers have clinched the NFC West and lead the Saints by for the number 2 seed because of their 8-2 conference record. New Orleans has clinched a playoff berth and can win the NFC South with a win or an Atlanta loss. The New York Giants, 7-6, lead the NFC East because of a win over Dallas. The two teams do close out the season, by the way, in New York. Atlanta, 8-5, is tied with Detroit for the number 5 seed, but beat Detroit when they played, which gives them a slight edge in that spot. Detroit has a 1-game lead over the Chicago Bears and the Dallas Cowboys for the 6th spot in the NFL playoffs. So even though we have 3 teams that are already in the playoffs, there's still a lot up for grabs in the NFC. Now, believe it or not, in the AFC, not one single team has clinched a playoff spot. Obviously, we know some of these teams who haven't clinched will today. and mathematically it's almost impossible for them to miss the playoffs, but right now not one single team has qualified for the playoffs. Let's run it down. Houston, 10-3, has won the AFC championship, and by the way, they have qualified for the playoffs. I apologize. A conference champion always gets in, and currently lead Baltimore and New England for the #1 seed on the strength of conference record 8-2 to 7-3 for Baltimore and New England. Baltimore owns the tiebreaker because of 2 wins over the Pittsburgh Steelers and lead the New England Patriots for the #2 seed because of a better record in games against common opponents. Baltimore is 4-0, New England 3-1. New England, 10-3, could win the AFC East title with a win or a loss by the New York Jets. Denver, 8-5, has a 1-game lead over the Oakland Raiders in the race for the AFC West. They play New England today, by the way. The New York Jets, 8-5, have a 1-game lead over Tennessee and Cincinnati and the Raiders for the #6 seed. Cincinnati, Tennessee, and Oakland are all 7-6 and very much alive. So there's not a whole lot that's been settled in the for the NFL playoffs. We know some of the teams that are going to be in, but everybody is jockeying for position and home field advantage throughout. And so you can look at this as a giant incentive-driven weekend in the NFL. I want to throw just a few handicapping hints at you, and then we'll close out this edition. Washington's at the New York Giants. It's a fascinating game for me. I got the money with the underdog Giants, a 50-unit play against the Dallas Cowboys, and, you know, in a good mood about them. But, you know, there's some things about the Giants that disturb me. They've given up 121 points in the last 3 games, almost 1,500 yards of offense, and are 0-3-1 in their last 4 games as a favorite. I don't know what all that means. I don't know how good Washington is. They occasionally wake up and play a bit. But, you know, before you jump in on this game, you better really look at the details. The facts probably favor Washington, but there's a lot more to handicapping than just the facts. By the way, 7 of the last 8 meetings between these two teams have gone under the number. New Orleans at Minnesota. The Saints are 5-0 against the number in their last 5 games. Minnesota 1-5-1 against the number in their last 7 home games as an underdog. Frankly, I don't see any way that a very weak Minnesota Vikings defense can deal with the Breeze and Colston today. So, you know, lean heavily toward the Indianapolis, I beg your pardon, the New Orleans Saints. Cincinnati at St. Louis, a game that Cincinnati absolutely has to win. I don't know whether St. Louis can win, but consider these facts. No team in the NFL is scoring less points than St. Louis. They're averaging 11.8 points per game. They've committed 10 turnovers in their last 5 games. They've surrendered 14 sacks in their last 4. Do the math. Last but not least, we have this game that everybody wants to see, the New England Patriots at the Denver Broncos. New England's a 7.5-point favorite, total 46. I guess the bettors don't believe in the Tebow magic, because this game opened with New England a -4, and that figure, as I noted, is now out to a -7.5. Well, this wraps up today's report. It's a day in the NFL where you really need to study. There's a lot of hidden factors. There's a lot of incentive-driven teams playing today. I always offer that with this caveat. No team that has to win has to do anything, so keep that in mind. Handicap this weekend as hard as any you've done, because you're going to need to find every little edge it takes to get the money. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back here on Monday with my next report.